Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Hope it's fantastic. Everything here is very, very good. And yeah, we're moving along. This is an insanely busy week for me. Between my jobs and my kid and both of my kids and sports activity, just stuff. We had a game last night. We have a game tonight, tomorrow, Thursday. My oldest has a performance on Friday. We have a tournament on Saturday. It's just like wall to wall crazy. And work has been crazy. We're trying to, my enterprise software that I've talked about in the past is running on a very outdated version of PHP. We're trying to bring it into the modern world, and that's proving to be a disastrous nightmare. That's okay. We'll get through it. On top of that, I'm trying to shut down the old server, which requires me to move a couple more clients, so I'm working on that. We're doing conference stuff, which I'm working on the back end of all of that. So my day job has been just crazy. Side job, I've been fixing bugs as they come in, but I haven't had a whole lot of time to mess with other development type stuff. I need to get back to it, but evening time has been game after game after game after game. Also, this week is state testing. I don't know if you have it in your state, but here we have like a yearly benchmark test for the kids. So my kid is doing that this week, and so she asked to stay here, my youngest. So we've been doing week on, week off. I had both kids last week, and then my youngest asked to stay again this week because mom moved like a half an hour away. And so just that extra time of not having to get up and get in a rush to get to school, not being tired to take this test. So my youngest asked to stay here this week so we could, be fresh at school. And I said, sure. The mom said, sure. So it's like I said yesterday, like I was missing music. I was missing that. I think right now I'm just longing for some downtime, which I have not had, for weeks at this point. But softball has been so intense, and then this weekend with the trip out of town and helping fix my sister's car, and now this whole week is every day something booked. It's like I'd love to have some downtime. I'd love to have just some decompression time, but I'll get it when I get it. It's gonna be a while, I think. But it'll be all right. Because what will happen inevitably at the end of all of this, the softball season. So this week we have 4 games, and then next week there's a game on Monday. But we have tickets to a concert, so I don't know that we're going to go to that game. I'm not going to that game because we switched weeks now. I'm supposed to have them next week. I might not, so I don't know if my youngest is going to go to the concert with us. I mean, we already bought a ticket. Well. Or if maybe they'll end up going to the game because they'll be with their mom. I don't know how that's going to work out. And I think we have Monday, and then we have like a game on Thursday or Friday, and I think that's it for the softball season. I think that's everything. And so after that, what I was trying to say is, I know that right now it feels like, man, I have had no time for myself, period. And that I miss having time for myself. But I know that as soon as softball season's over, I'm going to be like, well, now what do I do? Like, it's funny to think about. I would love to say that I spend an hour a day in my shop and I do this amount of work, but I am always like, I can't find an hour in my day to do that. But then when my kids have an activity like softball, I suddenly find 4 or 5 hours a day. Well, that's unfair. 3 to 4 hours. From traveling to watching the game to traveling back, I find those out and I can do it nonstop. But the thing is, I get overwhelmed. When there's that much activity, I can't find time for me. And so when I do have time for me, when this is all over and said and done for, and I have those 4 hours a day back, I don't want to spend those 4 hours a day going like hard at it, because then I get to the same. I'm like, I'm spending 4 hours a day doing this, but I really wish I was doing something else. And so there has to be some downtime, right? And to say there's no downtime, that's a lie. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, so I have plenty, not plenty, but I have quite a bit of free time to myself in the mornings. It's quiet time. I can't necessarily come down here and turn on power tools, but I can meditate on the couch. I can read. I can play a little bit of video games. I can do, some writing. I can do whatever I need to do. And the weekends usually prolong that. I usually have longer hours in the morning because everybody wakes up later. But it's pretty crazy, and it's been cold. Like last night was 45 degrees or something like that. This morning I woke up to ice on the cars. It's supposed to be 60 something today, so hopefully it's not freezing for tonight's game. But it's been a little bit crazy, and it'll pass, and then we can get back to doing nothing again. I don't want to do that though. I want to keep at least some of the energy going forward. I know I cannot sustain this much activity forever. I'm just not that. I need a lot of time to let my brain relax. If I don't get that time, everything becomes way more difficult than it needs to be. And I think that's the whole point of this, is the nonstop at my day job. The last week in particular has been just trying my best to dig out of holes at work, and then being on as a parent nonstop every evening. That amount of mental pressure, I guess, it wears on me pretty quickly, and I need a number of hours a day of decompression time, and I think that's a good thing, right? Because I don't know that I was ever good at taking, and I never recognized it before. I never recognized that I need decompression time before, and so I just go, and the feeling that I get from that is this tense anxiety. That's how I would describe it now. I wouldn't have described it as anxiety back then. I just would have I would have described it as motivation, but that's not it. It was literally just like, I have to go. I can't be lazy. I can't do this. I have to get it done. But M has taught me that decompression time is so vital to my mental health that when I don't get it is when things start to break down. And so taking that time, that little bit of time, even if it's just an hour a day or something, it's invaluable. So I'm gonna miss when softball's over, but at the same time, I'm gonna gain that decompression time back, and I can start to kind of let things calm down, and then I can focus on projects that need to get done. I need to finish the bench. I need to finish the thing. I need to work on an art project for this fall that I'm not necessarily procrastinating on it. I'm just not ready to work on it yet, but I need to get it started so that I can get it done, or so I don't procrastinate on it until the last minute. So, whew, it's crazy. It's a crazy time, but I enjoy it, right? What have you been up to? Anything exciting this week? Weather been okay where you are? It's that springtime stuff. I need to do outside work. I've got yard work that needs done, but I just don't have time to get to it. So hopefully in a week or two, I'll be able to redo the landscaping. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is quintessential. It is an adjective meaning the most perfect or typical example of its category or kind. Craving that old sweet oneness, yet dreading engulfment, wishing to be our mother's and yet be our own, we stormily swing from mood to mood, advancing and retreating, the quintessential model of two-mindedness. Judith Viorst, an American author and psychoanalyst. Quintessential. Quintessential. Reading those cold is difficult. I feel like I can read cold pretty well, usually. But some of these quotes are like, what? They don't make any sense.